I'm confused. I hope you're not. Why am I confused? I'm confused by India's foreign policy. Just when I thought that India was coming to a proper neutral position, it surprises me. What happened? The recent vote against Uyghurs, against China for their inaction or their bad deeds against Uyghurs, fell by a vote of 17 to 19 with 11 abstentions. India was one of those who abstained. Now, take a look at what could have happened. All we needed were three more countries, and China would have been on the mat, on the proverbial mat. As to what sanctions would have come from there, what kind of pressure would have been put on China, one can only imagine. But these countries, and I'm going to give you the list of the countries who voted for this resolution along with the West being United States, United Kingdom, Japan, and so on and so forth, who are the ones who abstained and who are the ones who voted with China. Pakistan clearly voted with China, Qatar. So these are all people who don't seem to care that the Muslims of China are being treated worse than human beings, worse than pigs. These people are put in internment camps. India has 200 crores of Islamic population. It owes them an answer. And you go and abstain? Isn't this an important issue? Aren't you standing up for every Indian? I just find it very, very surprising that Prime Minister Modi decided to abstain on this very critical vote. So let's take a look at who all were voting for, against, and abstention. Here we go. Argentina abstained. Armenia, they could have voted for, they also abstained. Benin, I don't even know where this country is on the map. I'll have to look it up. They also abstained. Bolivia with China. Brazil abstained. Another surprise. BRICS. Look at the BRICS. Brazil abstained. Now, Cameroon with China. China, of course. Côte d'Azur. This is a small island in the Pacific. Cuba, well, Cuba is communist. You can keep on explaining all these things as to why they sided with China. Czechoslovakia with the West. They said, yes, China should be imposed sanctions. Eritrea, no. Finland, yes. France, yes. You see how this is splitting right across West versus East, and with India being the proverbial Panchatantra bat? Gabon, no. African country, explainable. Gambia abstained. Next one, Honduras. Yes, they voted with the United States and the West. India abstained. Indonesia with China. Interesting there. Japan voted with the United States and the West. Kazakhstan, no. Libya abstained. Lithuania, yes. And Luxembourg, yes. Malawi abstained. Malaysia abstained. Marshall Islands voted with the West. Mauritania, no. Mexico abstained. Montenegro, yes. Namibia, no. Nepal, very interesting, again, no. Netherlands, Pakistan, Paraguay, Poland, Qatar, Republic of Korea, Senegal, Somalia, Sudan, Ukraine. Ukraine abstained. That's an interesting one. Why Ukraine abstained? Ukraine should have voted with the West. So that's another. So think about it. If Ukraine had gone with the West, Armenia had gone with the West, and India had gone with the West, they would have brought pressure on to bear on China. See, the thing I have is I don't like anything that is being done that is not good for the country. India should be voting for itself. India needs to answer its 200 million Muslims as to why it did not take a stand on the Uighurs. Come on now. Xinjiang used to be part of Lalita Aditya's empire. I mean, I can go on and on, but these kind of knee-jerk reactions, one time you vote with, one time you vote against Russia, one time you with, and with China, India is completely buckling in. They don't even want to admit that China has occupied their space. And point PP15, can anyone explain to me if China has withdrawn back to the old position as it existed in 1993? No. So what I'm trying to say is, don't get surprised when United States sends its ambassador to Pak-occupied Kashmir. Yeah, they have to express their displeasure at what you have done, So you have to take some things. You will get these kind of things dished out. Yeah, they will give $475 million to Pakistan. It's a different matter that Pakistan voted with China. They'll say, okay, this is a known devil. In fact, Bajwa is sitting there for a week. God knows what he's talking about for a week. Maybe he said, oh, Jaishankar spent 5 days in Washington, D.C. and New York, so I have to spend more time than that. Then he'll drum it up in his Pakistani press and say, look, I lasted longer. I met more people, all gas. 1 billion aid from US comes to Pakistan. 90% goes back to US, one way or the other. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is India needs to really decide what it wants to do. Can it withstand a 2-week war with China with the 4,000 kilometers LAC being the front? I think not. Who do you think is going to come to India's help at that point of time? United States. Why? Did you toe United States line? No. Then why do you expect them to come? If United States doesn't come to your help, you're going to lose to China. There's no doubt about it. So anyway, these are just my comments, my observations. And if you think I'm wrong, feel free to put in your comments. There'll be always as Russophiles will say, oh, Russia will come to our help. Just see how Russia is getting its bottom handed to it by a small country called Ukraine. Of course, with help from US. If US did not help Ukraine, do you think Russia would be getting what it's getting now? That's the point. That's the lesson that Mr. Modi is refusing to learn. God save India. That's all I can tell you. Yes, India will plow on, keep on making mistakes. This bureaucracy is frankly a very, very unpleasant surprise for me. Just when I thought that they had got themselves oriented right, suddenly they make a mistake. And it almost seems like somebody is getting his or her arms twisted by China. Xi Jinping desperately wants to have another term. And there are people inside China who are working against that happening. And if they were to win, guess where India is going to be? The same place where it has been. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. We are not, going to tell you everything Mr. Modi does is right. We tell you the truth the way we see it. Conspiracy theory, I just showed you all the data. So don't tell me this is a conspiracy theory. You can agree with me, disagree with me. If you're going to disagree with me, please do so with facts. We do try to go through all our comments to try and make sense of what you guys are thinking. Thanks once again. Namaskar.